Now we've got this new book out by Michael Wan, JBoss Scene, and I think we've run out of copies both in the booth at Travel One for various reasons.
Yeah, so the word is that Michael Wan's Scene book was the most stolen book at Java One. we know of like at least 8 stolen copies that we know of.
Exactly.
But also the bookshop sold out,
Which is good news.
Yeah, which is fantastic. It was top 10 selling books, and that's just really great to see that happening, and congratulations to Michael.
Yeah.
So that's great news, and there's another book out on A-Press, and I spoke to a couple of people who are working on books for Manning and for I forget the other one.
Okay.
But so there's a raft of books coming out, which is really excellent. That's, that means that when people come to me and say, hey, well, how do we get started with Seam, I can point to this book. Go look at that book.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I love books, so it's a great way for me to learn about it. Now, you're also heavily involved in the WebBeans JSR spec. So what can you tell us about that?
So the spec's taken a few months to get off the ground, but it's definitely off the ground now. We've had quite a few con calls and good participation from folks from Sun and Google, and especially from and Oracle, and especially from some of the individual members that are making great contributions, people like Jacob Hook and Richard Kennett. What's most interesting that's happened is that Bob Lee and I have discovered a great deal in common, and we've been looking very I've been looking, spending a lot of time looking at Juice, and Bob's been spending a lot of time, spending some time learning about Seam, and we've each discovered things in each other's model that is very interesting and not, and so what we've been working on is how to build a model which has the kind of the contextual state management of Seam, and also the nice things about the Juice model of this very type safe approach to wiring components together.
Right.
Something Seam doesn't have. So we're emerging with a model which looks different to both of them, but hopefully has the good features of both. And that's pretty exciting. That's really interesting, and it's always fun. At the beginning of these, when you spend. When you go out there and you build a system from the ground up, and you make all kind of decisions along the way, and sometimes some decision that you made, you don't necessarily see the full extent of its impact at the time when you make it. So it's kind of nice to be able to sort of go back and start questioning all your assumptions again, and revisit everything, with a group of people, who don't necessarily share your prejudices. And see, well, was that really the right way to go, or is there some other approach there? And it really helps you understand. It really helps you understand the problem a lot better. Yeah. So that's kind of the status we're at the moment. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, great. I can't wait to see what comes of it.
Yeah, it'll be a while yet.
Are there any other interesting technologies you've seen in the conference this year?
Yeah, so overall, it's clear that there's a lot of excitement around the JSF ecosystem. The top selling book at the conference, I think, was a JSF book. Things like the technology required from XL Ridge faces and things like ice faces are really hitting their stride now and really becoming mature at the same time as Seam's coming mature. So the JSF ecosystem is really one of the most exciting things around at the moment. It was amazing when I got up and did my talk today. And set up and showed people how amazingly easy it is to build Ajax, rich Ajax apps in JSF. I think, some people were like, oh, is that all there is? Right. People were asking questions. That looks way easier than I thought. I'm like, well, yeah. Once you're outside the echo chamber of JavaBlogs.com, where everybody sits around and tells each other that JSF sucks, and they tell each other back and forth so much that everyone knows JSF sucks, except that none of them have actually used it.
Right.
You know, so it's interesting to see people's faces go, oh, is that all? Is that? Oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
So JSF's, you know, doing great. The Groovy and Grails community is really looking very healthy. You know, Grails book was selling well, Groovy books were selling well. You know, Grails is cool stuff. One thing that Emmanuel's been working on with Seam in the last few weeks is letting you write Seam components in Groovy. So we're very interested. I think, you know, when we've mentioned that to people, they're like, oh, cool, you know.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to try, you know, write Seam applications in Groovy. But yeah, that's definitely a very strong community building around that.
Okay. About JavaFX, have you had a look at that?
I can't say I've had enough of a look at it to be able to comment.
Fair enough. And just to wrap up now, I understand you're living in San Francisco these days.
Yeah, so...
what attracted you here?
What attracted me here was a woman. But actually, I've always liked San Francisco. It's a great city. And there's so much to do around, you know, writing various kinds of two-wheeled forms of transportation is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a great place to live, actually.
Excellent. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all the best.